It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
I've emailed, I've called. At one point I got told go out and clean it yourself, which was fun.
Neighbors in Denver's Park Hill neighborhood say trash has been piling up for months in an alleyway.
It just keeps growing and growing, and it stinks. It's got maggots. I've seen rat tails. The flies are just everywhere in the neighborhood.
With nowhere to turn, they contact Denver7 for help.
If you're the city, please help us clean it up. I really don't want to drive into trash every single day.
More people are contacting Denver7 saying their apartment complex is not fixing or turning on their AC.
I had to go sleep in my car with my air conditioner running.
But if there is any solace, it's that the heat will soon be breaking.
Third straight day in the triple digits, but cooler weather starts tomorrow.
Juneteenth is now officially a federal holiday.
Because this is a really, really, really important moment in our history.
But local leaders say the work is still not over.
Because once we start to understand that Black culture is American culture, we all can get to a better place.
Plus, OBAMACARE survives a third and likely final challenge in the Supreme Court.
Today, millions of families are finding that they can stay on their insurance and won't fall over this cliff.
Good Thursday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Trash piled up for months, stinking up Denver's Park Hill neighborhood. Residents say calls out to the city have gone unnoticed, and now they are contacting Denver7 for help. Denver7's Addie Guajardo joins us live. Addie, you spoke to neighbors who are just fed up.
Jessica, they are. They're downright disgusted. And, you know, across the U.S., people have been anxious to get rid of their masks. In this alley, you want a double mask because between the hot air and the smell of this trash, this odor is simply pungent. Trash stretches across several homes in this back alley. And neighbors here say they're finding not only mattresses, but as you can see, trash bags with diapers hanging out. They say it's just downright dangerous. This cardboard box is just the beginning of a headache.
A grill to a Chevy truck. We all need one of those in our backyard.
Residents are dealing with in the Park Hill neighborhood.
I feel mad. Like, why would you do this?
Piles and piles of trash.
It's rancid. You can smell it all the way down the block.
In the alley off East 35th Avenue and Layden Street.
See, look, the trash is blowing.
Sherry and her grandson say they're frustrated.
I mean, look at this. Would you want to come home to that, drive down this alley and pull into your house? No.
And disgusted.
It's got maggots. I've seen rat tails. The flies are just everywhere in the neighborhood.
Neighbors here say they've been dealing with this problem for 6 months. They describe the pungent odor as rotting food, and it's getting worse.
Now it's cooked with the heat, with it being triple digits 3 days in a row.
Heather says day after day she finds herself backing up into trash.
I don't really want to drive over a door and puncture my tires.
A spokesperson with the mayor's office says they recently learned about the problem.
No, I do not. Because they've heard about it from me. I've emailed, I've called, I've complained.
Sherry says she's called in too.
You've
reached out to the city?
Yeah.
On multiple occasions?
Oh, yeah.
What's the response?
I never get calls back. I got one call back once, and that was last spring.
A spokesperson with the Denver Department of Transportation and Infrastructure says the Waste Management Division was notified on Thursday, and an investigation is underway. They say it could be illegal dumping.
We shouldn't even have to clean it up because it shouldn't be here.
Tavion, Sherry, and neighbors here don't care how it got here.
I mean, a paint thinner can, explosive.
They just want it gone.
Now, I've got to say, the trash here is so bad, the flies are ginormous. Neighbors tell me they've worked really hard to revitalize and beautify this Park Hill neighborhood. Their message to anyone illegally dumping, please just stop and find a dumpster. And to the city, they're pleading that they come out as quickly as possible and get this mess cleaned up. Reporting live in Denver, Addie Guajardo, Denver7 on Local 3.
How miserable. Thank you, Addie. Our Denver7 Weather Action Day continues through tonight at 10 as we have another day of temperatures above 100 degrees. Denver's all-time heat records fell Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. And people continue to contact Denver7 saying their buildings don't have air conditioning. The most recent case comes from the Mint Urban Infinity Apartments in Denver. Residents say they were told at the end of May that the chiller would be turned on in a week. Still, all buildings are without AC.
These apartments are nice. They could be beautiful. You could have a good tenant. You could have a productive business, but you can't have it like this.
Management for the complexes claim the heat, of all things, has impacted them being able to make repairs. They say they are working as quickly as possible to fix the situation. All new tonight at 8, people in Lakewood say a microburst came through this afternoon, knocking this 40-year-old tree down. This is near West Mississippi and Kentucky. Fortunately, there are no reports of any injuries. Today, President Biden signed a bill into law declaring Juneteenth as a federal holiday. Juneteenth is the first federal holiday established since Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 1983. The Senate passed the bill on Tuesday, then the House passed it yesterday. The holiday commemorates the day the last slaves were freed in Galveston, Texas in 1865. This weekend, the Juneteenth Music Festival will take place across Denver. It is one of the largest Juneteenth festivals in the country. Today, organizers said they want the celebration in 5 Points to be a model for the rest of the country.
What Juneteenth Music Festival will do is provide a format for the entire country to understand how we should celebrate Juneteenth. It's not only a celebration that happens on the street, but it's something that needs to happen in our homes, something that needs to happen in our classrooms, something that needs to happen in our office places.
Norman Harris is the president of the Juneteenth Music Festival Corporation. He says while marking Juneteenth as a federal holiday is a symbolic move, there still needs to be concrete reform to end racism nationwide.
What our country needs to do is we have to figure out how to address these challenges, and it's systematic. But ultimately, for us to address these challenges, it's going to take everyone to come to the table and have an honest conversation and get these elephants out the room, such as how has slavery created countless systems for us not to succeed.
Right now, there are 21 states in the country, not including Colorado, trying to ban critical race theory in schools. Critical race theory has been around for about 40 years. It analyzes the social construct of racism and its role throughout American history and our legal system. Now to that Supreme Court decision today. The conservative-leaning court upheld Obamacare for a third time. And for millions of families, it's a relief to still have their coverage. Here is ABC's Terry Moran.
For the third and likely final time, the Supreme Court upheld the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, but this time it was a court packed with conservatives that did it. By a vote of 7-2, the justices ruling that the plaintiffs, who had objected to the individual mandate that most Americans must have insurance, had not suffered any injury that would give them standing to sue, because there is no longer any penalty for not having insurance. The liberals on the court joined by 4 conservative justices, including Chief Justice John Roberts and Trump appointees Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, declaring, they have failed to show that they have standing to attack as unconstitutional the Act's minimum essential coverage provision. Justice Samuel Alito, clearly frustrated by another failure to overturn the ACA, almost sneering in dissent. Fans of judicial inventiveness will applaud once again. 31 million people are insured under the ACA. That's an all-time high. And 54 million with pre-existing conditions have come to rely on its protections. Among them, Christine Callahan of Cleveland, a small business owner, a Republican, and mom of 2, including 13-year-old Andrew, who has a genetic condition.
Just a relief that we will never hit a point where we can't insure him. Out-of-pocket cost of his seizure meds is over $3,000 a month.
The ACA, Barack Obama's signature achievement. Joe Biden at his side, celebrating with a bit of profanity caught on a hot mic. Today, now President Biden celebrating in the same vein, tweeting, it remains as ever a BFD, and it's here to stay. Republicans fought for more than a decade to kill the ACA.
That begins with immediately repealing and replacing the disaster known as Obamacare. And it's going to be so easy.
Turned out it wasn't. The court blocked them. They failed in Congress, too, and Americans grew to like it, polls show. So now it seems to have fallen off their radar.
The Affordable Care Act gets constantly woven deeper and deeper into the system. It's eventually going to be pretty hard to unravel from the system.
Terry Moran, ABC News, the Supreme Court.
Terry, thank you. Health insurance affects so many families in our country, and I wanted to dig deeper on how the Affordable Care Act has changed lives. Laura PACKARD of Denver tells me without the Affordable Care Act, she would be bankrupt or dead. In 2017, PACKARD was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She says the day after her first chemo treatment, Republicans in the House voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. She is now cancer-free and says today's decision will give many people peace of mind that their insurance won't get taken away.
I was relieved because I'm a stage 4 cancer survivor and I'm uninsurable without the Affordable Care Act. But I was also mad because we've all been in this limbo for years now, where we don't know day to day whether we're still going to have the health insurance we need. So enough is enough.
PACKARD hopes the battle over the Affordable Care Act is over and lawmakers will start working to give even more Americans affordable health care.
Nobody really cared, so that led me to one of my first suicide attempt, just because I felt so alone.
A Colorado teen opens up about her mental health struggle during the pandemic.
I've never really fit in, so I've always kind of been a target for bullying.
And it's a struggle on the rise in our state. How mental health experts say we can support our young kids moving forward.
Another brutally hot day today, but cooler and wetter weather is on the way.
And coming up later, how a search for a home in Colorado turned into an unlikely bond.
Do you feel like you'll continue to have this kind of friendship and bond?
Oh, I hope so. Absolutely.